Her more.
See you next Thursday on Elsbeth.
Another cool coastal evening covered in fog and misty rain showers. I'll time out those conditions and give you a preview of our weekend. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mitchell Reif. On tonight's 19 News, pro-Palestine protests continue on Northern Michigan University's campus. Hear from students who continue to stand by their goals of disclosing, divesting, and denouncing. And just after that, we're following the decision as the House of Representatives passed legislation in hopes of deterring anti-Semitism on college campuses. And later in Escanaba, how your student can take part in a defensive driving course aimed at preparing tomorrow's young drivers. Your 19 News at 11 starts right now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
In your first warning weather forecast, we've had some rainy days, but I just saw we've got some sunny days hopefully ahead.
But yeah, you're right. We do have some sunshine on the way tonight. No, it's nighttime. We've got cloudy conditions and some rain showers. Just a heads up though, for those of you on the eastern half, you do have some chances of thunderstorms overnight. So if you hear some rumbles, that's what's likely going on, especially down there in Menominee County. And then those temps right now in the 40s, and they're going to stick around that range for our morning, but I'll go over those details as well as what's ahead this weekend.
Developing now, protests are continuing on Northern Michigan University's campus. The pro-Palestine encampment setup is continuing in front of Jamrich Hall on campus. Students participating in the encampment say they want to represent nonviolent protesting, but will disrupt the campus at NMU. Making noise and singing are the ways that students are furthering their goals of disclosing, divesting, and denouncing companies that protesters say invest in war manufacturing.
At Oshkosh and Lockheed Martin, those are three companies that are heavily involved in war manufacturing over in Israel and Palestine. Our request for NMU, they've done the disclosing. Our request is that they divest from those three companies and to publicly denounce Israel.
Students say they want to thank NMU PD and staff for protecting their protest. In developing now, yesterday, the House passed legislation they say hopes to deter anti-Semitism on college campus. This legislation is moving forward in the Senate as pro-Palestinian encampments on college campuses across the U.S. continue to take place. Now, this is footage of an encampment at George Washington University in D.C. Students say they won't leave until the university diverts from from any financial dealings with the State of Israel. This is a common theme among protesters across campuses in the U.S. There have been tense moments and clashes with other protests at different universities in the past couple of days. Congressional members say these encampments threaten the safety of Jewish students. The legislation the House passed yesterday would require the Department of Education to consider the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism when enforcing federal anti-discrimination laws. We spoke with one GWU student on the encampment, and they believe they're being treated differently than the pro-Israel supporters when it comes to free speech and the freedom of assembly.
We know that freedom of assembly is important. It's how we're here today. And we know that since we have that fundamental right in the Constitution, we're going to use it to advocate for the people who the entire world has neglected to listen to for far too long.
These students who think that they're simply extending their freedom of speech without understanding the hate, the ignorance, the violence that is emboldened by it. And they're wrong to feel entitled that they can simply occupy buildings and public spaces and damage public property. They are wrong.
That bill the House passed now heads to the Senate, where it's expected to get a lot of bipartisan support. Out of our Michigan capital, a series of bills in Michigan's House of Representatives would create a framework for cities to regulate short-term rentals. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy spoke with one of the bill's authors, State Representative Jen Hill, to learn more about her hopes to help communities gain more control over rental properties.
With the summer tourism season on the way, House Democrats have introduced a bill package that would put a 6% excise tax on short-term rentals. State Representative Jen Hill says local control over Airbnb and Verbos is something community members and municipal leaders have been advocating for.
I think the biggest concern, too, is that local units of government don't see any revenue back from what is a business transaction.
Alongside the excise tax, the bills would create a statewide registry and let cities put a cap on the number of short-term rental properties they'll allow.
We're saying each community decides. Some communities will say 20, some will say 200.
With housing shortages pulling attention across the UP, Hill says community members have been concerned about the number of homes taken up by short-term rentals for years. Hill says her portion of the bill will ensure communities benefit from the short-term rentals in their city. Her bill would allow local units of government to use collected assessments to pay for other housing projects or for child care programs.
We want to have tourism. It's a very important industry and business for Michigan, but there are costs associated to local government.
According to the House Fiscal Agency, if passed, the excise tax could create up to $75 million, most of which would go back to the municipality where the short-term rental is located.
90% of Marquette is public beach. Who pays for that? Residents pay for that on their taxes. This would help the tourists also make a contribution.
The bill is now waiting for another hearing in the House Local Government and Municipal Finance Committee. Similar bills have stalled at this point in the past, but the authors say negotiations are underway to secure the votes needed to pass the legislation this time around. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
This summer, teens have the opportunity to learn critical driving skills from Michigan State Police troopers. Registration is now open for MSP's third annual Teenage Defensive Driving Program, July 26th through July 28th. Students ages 16 to 19 get to practice exercises like precision maneuvering, controlled braking, and skid control, all while behind the wheel of the Blue Goose. Instructors say these skills are the foundation of good driving habits.
The confidence you see in a teen when they start the program and they finish at the end of their training session is just amazing. With static environments, teens learn how to adapt so that way when put in the real world, they actually know how to react and be safer drivers.
Teen Defensive Driving Program is open to 72 students and more than 60 spots are still available. To sign up or learn more, just visit our website, WZMQ19.com. An Ishpeming family officially opened a new meat shop, reviving a longtime community favorite that closed after a tragedy.
1, 2,
Milano
3,
Smokehouse meats cut the ribbon today, and it's the same location as the former Glenn Smokehouse. New owner Tim Milano says he trained under Glenn Andrews for years before Andrews died in March of last year. Milano knew right away that he wanted to buy the shop with all the same favorites and, of course, some new ones.
I've just been overwhelmed by the support of the community, how much I knew that they loved Glenn's stuff and how much they have supported us and cheered us on, and I really want to send a heartfelt thank you to all my members of the community, all my friends, all my family for supporting us.
Milano plans to offer sandwiches soon and expand hours this summer. You can find the shop's hours at our website, WZMQ19. 78 veterans from the UP were in Washington, D.C. today for the Mission 23 of the UP Honor Flight. The Honor Flight gives local veterans the chance to visit various war memorials and monuments in our nation's capital. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon tells us how the Honor Flight is much more than just a sightseeing trip to D.C.
Today, veterans from the UP made stops at the World War II, Vietnam, and Korean War memorials for the 23rd UP Honor Flight.
For a lot of them, it's their first time in D.C., so it's just overwhelming for them.
Scott Knopf is the president of the UP Honor Flight and says the trip helps veterans, like those who served in Vietnam, heal. After serving their country through a brutal war, many Vietnam veterans received anything but a warm welcome back to America.
Coming back was pretty much like still being over there. I just wouldn't wear my uniform anymore.
It took me 30 years before we even talked about it. And you see I got a hat and all. We did none of that stuff for 30 years.
It was a hard time to come home, and most of our veterans just tried to hide it and forget it.
For many of these veterans, the honor flight is about more than just visiting our nation's capital and sightseeing. It's about being seen and receiving long overdue gratitude for their service.
This is just amazing, just amazing. We never had it. I'm sorry. And my husband and my brothers never got to see it. So it's amazing. I wish that everybody could have seen it, you know, and had the thank you that they should have gotten.
Like many others, this was Fran Smith's first time seeing the Vietnam War and Vietnam Women's Memorials built to honor her and countless others.
Who are we looking for?
Peter Ulrichsen, right there.
Including childhood friends from the UP who didn't make it back home.
He was a friend of mine in high school.
As Fran and other veterans toured the site, dozens of school groups and children thanked them for their service.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me cry.
A patriotic gesture that was hard to come by in the late 1960s and early 70s.
No matter how popular or unpopular a war, it's got nothing to do with the soldiers. They're doing their duty, and they're protecting your freedom, and freedom is not free.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon to WZMQ 19 News.
Your full weather forecast for the next couple of days is coming up after the break, as well as a new UP-made film that's bringing our historical feeders like the Delft and the Nordic back to life. Learn more about where you can watch Marquee Town. And continuing with the arts theme tonight, a theater group in Escanaba is premiering this year's production tomorrow night. Hear from some of the young actors in the film. We'll be right back right after this.
"19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order. With 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Saturday night at 6 on MeTV 19.1.
Hannah Waddingham always leaves us laughing.
You have the little evil laugh down.
Come on. Plus, this cutie can swing a club. Then a family reunion after 5 long years.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
The Late Show.
If there are any fans of stupidity and corruption out there, you have joined us on the right night.
New tonight on CBS.
We are here around the clock in all weather. Your home away from home in medical crisis. We've seen it all. Weddings through holidays. We don't have all the answers, but we're always present. It isn't for the thank you. We do it for our guests like Tom, Pam, and Nora. And your support brings warmth and comfort to families in need. Please donate today and help us make it home.
Get the royal treatment. Join the millions playing Royal Match today. Download now.
We're going to talk.
Man, what a day. We're having some technical difficulties. Thanks a lot, rain. That's what I will blame it on. Milli Vanilli, yep, that's for you. Okay, some sprinkles right now over the UP, current conditions. East side's gonna see a lot more rain activity than the rest of us in our evening as well as the morning. Right now, those temperatures in the 40s, winds a little bit calm, but they're going to gust up tomorrow. We could see breezes around 20 to 35 miles an hour. But guess what's also on the way? Sunshine and warmer temps. It's about time, right? Mostly clear skies, though, for the evening on our Friday night. Here's a quick look at your morning commute in case you are driving in the morning. Again, that fog hanging out mostly along the Great Lakes and then clearing out around 10, 11. Kevin Dunham taking some wicked pictures there of purple finches. I don't know, they look a little bit red. Gorgeous. Anyway, here's a look at what's happening in Munising for the day. We'll warm up to about 58 around noon, and then 64 is the possible temp at 4 o'clock with, again, abundant sunshine. Calmer winds down there in Escanaba for our Friday. Here's a look right now, though, of the next couple of hours with Futurecast of those rain showers. Possible thunderstorms again for the east half of the UP into our morning. And then here's that clearing around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then maybe some clouds on our Friday evening. Now, we do have chances of sprinkles returning on our Saturday. Check it out here around 2 p.m. Most of that activity, though, going to hang out over on that western portion, and then we'll have some cloud coverage, but overall partly sunny skies. And then guess what's coming Sunday? More sunshine. Here's a look at our chances for rain over the next 7 days in Marquette. Yeah, we could see some sprinkles here on Saturday, and then again next week we're expecting that active weather pattern of rain showers. It is spring after all. And to recap what happened in April, we saw about 19.1 inches of snow, 5.17 inches of rain. So of course, more snow than rain. But overall, we were warmer than what we normally are. We had a high, record high there of 60s, or the high temperature for the month, excuse me, was 67 on the 27th. And of course, earlier in the month, it was colder, rainier, snowier, all that fun stuff that comes with April. And taking a look at our temperatures when we hit the warmer portions, that looks to be mostly in the middle of the month and so on. Again, we will just see these temps increasing even next week. Take a look, though, at the 7-day for Marquette. We'll drop down a little bit on our Sunday, Cinco de Mayo, and then lots of sunshine on Monday. Again, those showers returning midweek, even into the later week. But I've got your 7-day as well as your Cinco de Mayo outlook coming up at 15.
Thanks, Air. And something about being in nature always seems to leave us feeling better. Why does it feel so good to get outdoors? Kristen Mitchell found the health benefits that are both mental and physical.
In the land of 10,000 lakes, nature is calling, and our bodies are listening.
You can smell, feel, use all your senses out here, and it just makes you feel more alive.
Why does it feel good to be outside?
Man, the outdoors have so many amazing benefits for us.
mHealth Fairview pediatrician Dr. Vanessa Slott says there are both physical and mental benefits to being outdoors.
There are a lot of studies that show being in nature, even if it's just sitting under a tree for a few minutes every day, lowers our stress, which then in turn can really lower blood pressure and heart rate and those stress hormones like cortisol.
I'm relieving stress. I'm getting away from everything. That's the best part.
Dr. Slott says there's a natural calming effect created by breathing in fresh air and focusing on the sounds and sights around you. It's even proven to help people suffering from anxiety and depression.
There's studies that are ongoing looking at how that could potentially help in people who have ADHD. It has shown to improve our memory even.
Enjoying exercise lends to a more active life.
We're going to benefit more and work out harder and play harder if we're outside.
And I figure if we keep coming here and walk, and she's going to live longer and I'm going to live longer.
Doctors say sleep can also improve when you regularly spend time outside. The film spotlighting the UP's theaters hit the screen this evening, showing off the UP's history and culture. Marquee Town aired at the Peter White Public Library this evening with some of the cast and crew in there in support of the film as well. Audience members had the chance to see various pieces of memorabilia from when the crew was filming here last year and sit down and view the film that goes through the historical theaters that have called the UP home. The library has had a number of artists come through to showcase their work, and the art of filming is no different.
Public library has a lot of history to it, but we also love to highlight all the different historical things that are in town as well. The theaters that they focus on in the film, I mean, I remember the Delft, I remember the Nordic as a kid. I went there all the time. I think that this film is really exciting because it's highlighting that. It's highlighting what the role of these community theaters played in the history of the area.
The next showing for Marquee Town will be tomorrow at Marquette Cinemas, and we have those links to tickets and a list of other showings on our website. Just head to WZMQ19.com. Escanaba's Player to Knock Theater Group premieres this year's youth production tomorrow night. WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons spoke with some of the talented young actors about the show.
This young Players Do Not cast is putting the finishing touches on their production of Fantastic Mr. Fox.
This Fox family is stealing mine and a couple other farmers' livestock, animals, etc., and we are trying to get revenge on them. But they have a master plan.
The production calls for an especially large cast, with 34 onstage performers and 7 puppeteers.
From what I've heard, it's probably the most complicated production that Players have ever done. There's dancing involved, a whole bunch of trapdoors. It's very fun to do all this dynamic stuff.
Many of the cast members even helped make all of those elements work backstage.
Obviously, it's fun doing this stuff on stage, but it's really important to see what the people behind stage do. Not just the scene you see, but the puppeteering, the sound effects, everything is very complicated, and it takes a lot of hard work from a lot of people.
They say being part of Players to Knock is an amazing experience, both for returning cast members.
It's super fun. You make a lot of friends, a great space to be in, lots of great memories.
And new ones.
Everyone here is so kind, and they're so inclusive, and they make sure you really have a safe space and comforting space here.
And they believe audiences will enjoy Fantastic Mr. Fox just as much as they do.
I think they'll have a lot of laughs during the play, but I think it also tug on their heartstrings a little bit. I think it also keep them on their toes too, because it's very fast paced. We get through a lot of stuff in it, but it's all tied together in the end.
It's super funny. It's great for all ages. There's lots of great characters, great costumes, it's all really great.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
We'll be right back with sports.
This is your team.
So we've got a couple of things on our list to cover today.
Preparing to bring you the news. It's live, it's local, and it's all about you.
Amy's going to be meeting with the union president for...
Giving you the information edge.
But I'm hoping to film that package tonight.
Sharing what's ahead, helping you prepare for weather changes.
We've got cold temperatures, wind.
A fresh, trusted approach to news.
Good evening, everyone.
19 News, weeknights at 6 and 11.
Drivers, when we're stopped and you see our lights are flashing, use yours.
First, show those brake lights and slow down at least 10 miles per hour below the posted speed limit.
Then put on your turn signal and move over to the next lane if possible.
This protects us and the people we're helping. It's also the law.
So remember, when you see our lights, use yours.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
their spring activities underway. But in the case of the Marquette Junior Wildcat Basketball League, it's trying to wrap up its season after snow interfered with a couple practices. We go to Bothwell Middle School where the action was taking place. And you can see the clinic offers training style sessions for the kindergarten through third grade youngsters to learn the fundamentals, while the 4th through 8th graders play 5-on-5 full court games. The younger group had about 85 kids this year, with around the same number for the older youngsters. Sometimes getting that schedule to work in your favor is tricky.
Tuesdays and Thursday nights during the winter, and for us right now that's competing against like softball and Little League and some other sports, so our numbers are a little bit lower this year. We've traditionally run clinics on Saturdays and we've had as many as like 230 kids, so it's just a little bit different depending on what time of year we're offering it. We're still trying to figure out the youth circuit and what makes the most sense for the parents and for the players.
Once upon a time, when she was known as Carly Benson, Harrington scored 1,020 points in her college career at the University of Michigan, and before that won a Class D state title at Kearney Natal High School. The 10th annual Kiwanis Classic Border Bash basketball game is set for Thursday, June 6th in Ironwood. That will take place at Gogebic Community College. Some of the best high school seniors from the Upper Peninsula will face a group from northern Wisconsin. The 9 players on the officially called Northern Michigan boys team include Mr. UP basketball Johnny Ingalls of St. Ignace. Ingalls averaged over 30 points per game this season, helping the Saints to a Division IV semifinal. He will be joined by his St. Ignace teammate Ethan McLean, Menominee Trevor Terkoff and Connor Caduti, Westwood's Andrew Nemi, Norway's Alex Ortman, Lakeland and Hubble's Gabe Popko, Negaunee Gavin Saunders, and Jeffers Matthew Schutz. Retiring St. Ignace coach Doug Ingalls will lead the squad. For the girls, that's Negaunee's Ella Mason, Miss UP basketball. She helped the Miners to a Division II semifinal. Mason's teammates are Anna Axtell of Menominee, Kylie Emblad of Marquette, Ishpeming State champion Jenna Mackey, Escanaba's Kira Mackey, Westwood's Megan Marta, Danica Shamian from West Iron County, Brooke Stanislawski of Bessemer, and Lauren Zawada of Bark River Harris. Girls game is scheduled to start at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 Central Time, with the boys game following again. That's June 6th at Gogebic Community College. Algoliac first team women's basketball player Mercedes Simmons of Purdue Northwest will play her 5th and final season at Nova Southeastern University in Florida. The Forest Park graduate is Purdue Northwest's all-time leader in block shots. In the GLIAC this season, she had 42 and she ended up with 69 overall. Last year, the Pride was 11-18. The Sharks of Nova Southeastern, 25-6 last season, and reached the Division II South Region Final. NBA playoffs, first round, Game 6, Milwaukee at Indiana. And Damian Lillard knocks down a triple. He missed the last 2 games with the right Achilles injury. Bounced back tonight to score 28 points. No Giannis with that calf injury. But Indiana had other players stepping up. Obi Toppin for 3. He topped the Pacers with 21, and Milwaukee's season comes to an end. Indiana wins 120-98, taking the series 4 games to 2. The Central Collegiate Hockey Association has completed a 3-year agreement with Midco Sports Plus, and that will take over the hockey coverage for next year. You're looking at the GLIAC Track and Field Championships. In the women's javelin, Lake Superior State's Jenna Fleming was the winner, NMU's Teola Harvey third. Davenport's Julia Ott of Marquette was second in the heptathlon. NMU's Crystal Walker third in the long jump. Manistee wins both ends of the Rapid River Track and Field Invitational, and we'll be right back.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature Made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
Rated the best hearing aids of 2023 by Forbes, the Audien Atom 2 series offers superior sound quality and functionality for a fraction of the price. For just $189 a pair, the Atom 2 features 4 different hearing modes for all types of hearing loss. It packs crystal clear sound, a nearly invisible design, and is even rechargeable.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. They're so comfortable, I forget I'm wearing them. And the sound is amazing.
The Atom Pro 2 is our smallest hearing aid yet, featuring advanced background noise cancellation and is the world's first hearing aid with built-in UV cleaning that kills 99% of bacteria.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed without seeing a doctor or having a hearing test.
Join over 500,000 happy customers today and get the hearing you deserve.
Call 1-800-455-9314 or go to audionhearing.com to get your pair of Audien hearing aids starting at just $189.
Pure Outdoor is the first program dedicated to increasingly popular outdoor and eco sports. Individual and adventurous. Journey to the world's most exotic, breathtaking locations. Pure Outdoor.
What do you say we get on out of here? I don't care where we go if it's as far as we can get.
Wagon Train, weekdays at 4 on MeTV 19.1.
We'll stick with those 40-degree temperatures this evening, and then as we take a look in the morning, what's happening? Well, we'll be in that warmer range as well, but then those numbers are definitely going to be kicking up throughout the day. Take a look here at 5 p.m. We could see 71 down in Iron Mountain. It's going to be gorgeous with lots of sunshine. We got to get through those clouds in the morning though first, and then coming up on your Saturday, I'm going to tell you the odds. We've got some sunshine, chances of showers in the afternoon. It is Star Wars Day, May 4th, and those temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler, 55 to about 65 degrees, but then we'll warm back up possibly on our Sunday. Take a look at Cinco de Mayo. We've got 68 in Iron Mountain, a little bit cooler here in Marquette, but hey, the sun will be out again. Remember, we also have a UV index of 7 tomorrow, which is high, so put that sunscreen on and protect your skin.
Thanks, Air. Lastly, tonight, corgis wearing Star Wars outfits paraded on Sunday to mark the anniversary of a Moscow exhibition dedicated to the iconic movies. The parade celebrated 1 year since the exhibition called In a Galaxy Far, Far Away was open to the public. Ariane, Mike, you ever won a corgi before?
Want one? Sure. I want all the dogs, Mitch. How about you?
I've always wanted a corgi, but I've had some trouble. I mean, with their size, obviously it might be difficult to run them around all the time, so.
They're so goofy. Also, I guess I'm more of a fan of Star Wars in this situation. Are you guys fans of Star Wars?
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars.
Huge.
You'll watch it.
Do we like the new series?
I haven't watched any of those.
I do.
Old-fashioned.
I will say they're worth the watch.
I love Rey. I love that character. And of course, the Mandalorian. Okay, we could talk about this even longer, but we won't.
That's for sure. We'll see you right back here tonight. Or tomorrow at 6/5 Central. Have a great night.
This is your team.
So we've got a couple of things on our list to cover today.
Preparing to bring you the news. It's live, it's local, and it's all about you.
Amy's going to be meeting with the union president for
giving you the information edge.
But I'm hoping to film that package to